Welcome. Very good evening. Stockport County Live. Mark Kitching. Kitch, welcome to the show. Matty Mainwaring, as ever. Good evening, boys. How are we?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Well.
Yeah. Well, listen. I was just saying. I don't think I can't blame you for not getting the memo because I don't think I sent it round. It is Christmas jumper evening over here. I've got one that flashes.
No, so, we didn't get the memo, did we?
No. Well, listen.
I'll make you this, mate. How much was that, Chris?
Couple of £100 this, mate.
Designer. Charity shop tackle that.
Yeah, good. It's good quality. It's really warm. It's what you want in a jumper. Listen, we've got quite a lot to get through tonight. It's a busy time, despite games still falling foul to COVID, which was a bit frustrating, I guess, for you, Mark, because you heard quite late on that Saturday wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Let's maybe just start there because we usually start with the last game, but when we can go back a little bit further, let's do that. How did you guys find the news out that Saturday wasn't going ahead?
Well, I'm not too sure how we found out. The manager just put a message out there saying that obviously there's been a COVID sort of regulation put in place. So obviously there's nothing you can do really, especially in the world we're living in now. You sort of have to just get on with it and deal with it. I suppose it's just one of them things. The world we live in now, it could be training tomorrow, could be the game on Saturday, anything COVID now can sort of just spring up and you just have to be prepared really. And obviously just try and keep yourself fit. Obviously on Saturday when I found out the game wasn't on, sort of go downstairs, wait in the gym for a bit, sort of just feel bitter. I just tick yourself over really.
It highlights the importance, I guess, of staying fit all the time.
Yeah.
Because I guess there will be players out there, not necessarily at county, but players out there that lose a bit of motivation. You know, if the game's called off,
yeah,
get in bed or stick a film on or whatever, and you've lost that day's fitness.
Yeah, of course, mate. Exactly. Well, especially like you just said there, you have to just sort of keep yourself professional, really, and obviously just tick over because obviously we had Knox County coming up as well, so obviously you have to sort of keep yourself going for that because obviously that was a big game and also. So yeah, just sort of tick yourself over really. Obviously, it's disappointing not playing a match because that's what you love the most. You know what I mean? But obviously, if you can't do it, then you have to just keep yourself fit and ready.
How would you have handled that, Matt? Just like having games come off at the last minute.
Yeah, and I think Mark's hit the nail on the head. I think as a pro, that's what's expected of you, and that's what you paid for. You've got you're gonna have back-to-back fixtures over Christmas, so I think it's a case of staying ready for those. I don't think you lose fitness in a day or a couple of days, but there's a chance you could rust up. And in a league as tight as the National League, I think every inch counts. So it is a case of not ballooning, not getting on the beer, staying sharp, staying focused.
You boys will both know this better than I do. So from a fan's perspective, when Saturday's done, whether we've played, won, lost, drawn, whatever, straight away you're looking at the table and you're going, well, Torquay have done this, and you know such and such a club have done this, and they've won, we catch them. With the fixtures being stop-start, I mean, players tend to say they don't look at the league table, they just focus on what they've got to do, which is fair enough. But with the season so stop-start, do you find yourself looking at what's going on the board?
Well, I suppose you do a little bit, especially when you're not playing. Like obviously for Saturday, obviously you're checking Torquay's results, you're checking teams that are up there results. But I suppose with it being so early on in the season, I suppose it doesn't really mean nothing at the moment. Obviously, you just want as many points as possible, and obviously we've got 3-4 games in hand on a lot of teams, and obviously if we win them, what are we in the league? I think we're 9th to 10th in the league or something. If we go win them games, it could boost up to second and 3 points behind first. So obviously it doesn't really, league tables at this moment don't really mean too much in my opinion. I just think it's the last 10 games of the season and you can look at it, and obviously if you're there or thereabouts, then obviously that's when you start looking at it like really serious, in my opinion.
They used to say titles aren't won in December or by Christmas, and this year they're definitely not. Given that we started whenever it was, and we've already, we've still missed a load of games. This one could go on a little while.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, with the fixture pile up, especially for a team like us who have obviously we've had COVID regulations where we've had games missed and say 2 weeks off. You have to sort of think about like the bigger picture type thing. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of Saturday Tuesday. You have to just sort of just keep yourself ready, really. And obviously, like you're saying, just have a real good back end of the season. Obviously, well, middle, we've only played 10 games, haven't we?
I want to bring in both of you for this because you mentioned Knox County, right? So we played Knox County, and okay, we've not got the result. I don't think we need to dwell too much on that, but it was a big game because it's Knox County for a start. You would argue if there's any club going to rival County for the biggest club in non-league, it's probably them. Lovely big stadium, history, etc. It's also on BT Sport. Are they the kind of games that you think you get up for a little bit more?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Obviously, obviously it's on BT, isn't it? Obviously, it's a massive game. All your family and that are watching, everything like that. And obviously, in our last game against Chesterfield on BT, I thought we really turned up and we put in a real professional performance. And obviously, we were hoping for obviously similar scenarios. Obviously, it didn't go to plan this time, but hopefully next time and hopefully next Saturday we can put that right.
How about you, Matt? Would it be in the back of your mind if you're playing at a big ground, it's on telly, you know, okay, there's no fans there on this occasion, but you get where I'm going with it. Does it play on your mind when you're out there?
Yeah, of course it does. I think from a professional point of view as well, every game you play, you're playing for your next contract. So you're in the shop window there. Nobody knows what's going to happen next year. Nobody knows what's going to happen the year after. And if we're being honest, I think a lot of people expect us and Knox County to be in the mix come the end of the season. So those sort of games, you add the TV to the mix, they become massive games. They become like 6-pointers. I know it's early, but you know, and it is a shame we were pipped there. But like Mark says, it's not the be all and end all at this stage. But yeah, add the TV to the mix. You've got everybody seems to raise the game, and I think the challenge itself is raising your game for the smaller games, the Tuesday night matches where you're going miles away. They're not on telly. There's no fans because of the restrictions and stuff. So I think I always found it quite easy when you're on TV to raise your game.
Let's talk about you then, Mark. Because obviously your career, you started up in Middlesbrough. We'll speak about that in a moment, and the career that's led to where you are now. You were a new boy at County essentially over the summer. One of the new faces in amidst this time of change. You know, the club is going through a huge new era it's stepping into, and you were one of the faces of that. You've delivered. I think on the pitch. I think if you ask the fans, I reckon Mark Kitching is one of the new favoured faces. If you like, the fans really have warmed to you. How have you taken all that?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's been a new chapter in my career. I got offered a new deal at Hartlepool, which is obviously a good club. It's local to me and everything like that. So it fitted sort of all them boxes. But obviously, when I found out that obviously County got a new owner and everything like that, and I heard of the ambitions where they want to go, I want to go back into the Football League. I want to win leagues and everything like that. So obviously, I think that was a real big sort of decision for me to take. And obviously, I'm loving it, to be honest with you. And obviously, I think I'm doing all right on the pitch. I still think I can improve in certain scenarios. And obviously hearing the fans saying I'm doing well and things like that, it only gives you sort of confidence to obviously keep going and keep doing the right things, really. And hopefully, like I said, just keep trying my best and obviously keep trying to win games and things like that.
It does help when you were pinging in a few screamers as well. If we're honest, left hand side, that's not something that's new to you. You brought that to the table before.
I've scored one goal with my right foot before in my career. That was last season against Dagenham and Redbridge. That was a winner as well. But this one was, I don't know where this one came from. Honestly, God, I've been saying it to everyone. It was sort of, I just hit it as hard as I could. Obviously, I've come inside and I've seen Runes is on the inside and he's shouting for the ball. But I've just thought I'll just hit it as hard as I can and hope for the best. And obviously, I've hit it and it's like I've looked up and it's an absolute rocket, to be fair. So no, I was buzzing.
You're too modest, Mark.
Matt, do you know what I love? Right, we've had all different footballers on this show, and in the boxing world, you hear it all the time about tactics and how you've really got to think about kind of how you set yourself up, your body position, your stamina, everything else. I love it when something just comes down to I just hit it as hard as I could.
Yeah. Especially on your weaker foot, I don't think you can think about it too much. Like, say if it was on my left foot, I'd have probably tried to curl it more or maybe finesse it a bit more. But obviously with it being on my weaker foot, it's sort of just one of them where I thought if I try and curl this in, I'll probably shank it and it'll hit the corner flag or something. So I've literally just hit it as hard as I could, and obviously it's worked out. It's worked out this time for me good.
You wouldn't put a left back down, would you, Matt, for the first goal of the season?
No, not one bit. No, you get some odds for that.
Yeah.
I want to move on to another goal you scored, and apologies if this is putting you on the spot a little bit, but you dedicated the Chesterfield goal, and I saw it on social media, and that was obviously quite a special goal for you. Oh
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was my dad's birthday, who sadly passed away last year. So obviously I dedicated that goal to him. I went home for the day. I went round I just like where his ashes were and things like that. And I was speaking to my family, and obviously my mum was saying, hopefully you can get a goal on it. And obviously it was on telly, so they could watch. You know what I mean? So it was ideal. And obviously it was a real special goal to do it on his birthday. Obviously he would have loved to have seen that, but I'm sure we'd have been real happy with that and really surprised, to be honest, especially my right foot.
Unbelievable finish.
Yeah.
Unbelievable finish. Let's move on, because we spoke about Christmas jumpers at the top. I want to ask both of you here now, because both of you have been in county dressing rooms with characters and all these things going on. I'm the only one at the party here that has got this flashing jumper on. I get the impression, even if I had given you both a memo, we probably still would have a similar outcome. Let's start with you, Mark. Who in that dressing room, if anyone is going to rock up in this jumper, who's it?
It's got to be Sam Minahan. It's got to be. I can just see him in it already with his flashing lights on. He'd absolutely love it.
He's a man of taste, is he?
Yeah, he'd love that jumper, honestly. He'd rock up in that with, honestly, absolute pride and joy. Wouldn't care what anyone said to him either.
What do you reckon, Matt? How would it go down in the Jim Gannon dressing room?
There's no point, mate. There's no point asking me. You know exactly who'd wear that.
Yeah, the guy
he's daft and he's not here tonight. Yeah,
yeah.
He'd be the one. He'd wear it with pride. He'd have the lights flashing in broad daylight.
What's it like for football players over Christmas? This is like to both of you. Do you get out? Do you get for unusual circumstances? Let's put this year aside for a moment. Is it Christmas parties that the manager's not allowed to know about? Do you go out and have a couple, take it easy? How does it go?
I think it's time to press on record, mate.
Well, it's obviously, well, for me personally, it's normally you can just sort of get out when you can. Obviously, get out with the family, whatever. Just like go for a nice meal with your family if you don't get to see them too much. Obviously, girlfriend, whatever, things like that. Really, just try and enjoy it. Because obviously, when you're a footballer, obviously over Christmas, you've got a game on Boxing Day, you've got a game New Year's Eve, and obviously you could be travelling away Boxing Day. You don't know where you could be. You could be in London. So obviously, I think you just have to try and squeeze it in where you can, to be honest with you. And for all you know, you could be training on Christmas Day. So obviously, maybe the 21st, the 22nd, if you can squeeze something in then obviously you have to just take it while you can, because obviously with football, obviously you're working all over the festive period. So like I said, you have to just sort of do things when you can, really.
Is that how you remember it, Matt?
Yeah, it's funny you should ask. We just literally, because of the tier system today, me and my girlfriend have just been discussing the New Year's Eve plans have been shattered. So, you know, I was saying to her before, most people I know aren't fussed about New Year. I live for it. I love it because I've had so many taken off me with football over previous years. Yeah. Like Mark says, you play New Year's Day, you play Boxing Day, so and there's a good chance you'll train Christmas Day. I've trained Christmas Day before at Hull, and you train all over that period. You've got 3 or 4 games to cram in, so you've got to stay prepared and switched on, and so you don't really get a New Year. So now at the moment, I'm living for it. But yeah, when you're active, it's one of them. I think particularly over that time, if you're found or caught out and about, you're in big trouble. So it's just a no-go, really.
Do you remember the Tottenham one a few years ago when Harry Redknapp was manager there, and he said there was no Christmas do allowed, and he all snuck off to Ireland? Obviously, that's going to get back to the manager.
Yeah,
no way of knowing it. Now,
the fines are quite hefty at that level as well.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. I wouldn't want
week's wages at that level.
Oh, a lot of money.
Feel free to not commit or not incriminate yourself, Mark. But give me if you've ever been in that situation and where you've had to sneak out for a Christmas do.
Well, yeah, I'm teetotal, me. I don't drink. I don't think
Has that always been the case?
Always been the case, yeah. Don't get me wrong, love a night out, but I don't think I've ever been out over Christmas when I'm not supposed to. I don't think. No, the year I broke my leg, I went out actually, but I suppose I don't come into that category. I was injured. I'm not back walking, so definitely wasn't playing New Year's Day. But no, I don't think so. I think good question for Dicko that next week.
What about you, Mark? Have you ever been tempted to break? I guess not to break the rules, but to go out on a Christmas do when you maybe shouldn't, and just because you're a young lad, you got all your mates around you. It's tempting, I'm sure.
Yeah, obviously, sometimes you do get a bit of temptation, but you have to. Well, in my opinion, I think you have to sort of think of the bigger picture and obviously what you're doing as a job and what you get paid for. Obviously, this is what you're doing is every boy's dream. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, if you can sacrifice a few nights out or a few meals or things like that just to keep yourself fresh and ready for a Saturday, what'll give you the best opportunity to do well, then I think it's the definitely right thing to do, to be honest.
So to bring it back to on the pitch, we won't keep you for a great while longer, but to bring it back on the pitch, you are the new boy at County, but you've excelled, I think, gone through the gears. We were saying before, County fans have seen you popped up with goals defensively. You look very strong and sturdy going forward. You've got a lot to offer there as well. Is that what your career has always been about? You go back to the Middlesbrough games. I was actually looking at some older clips online of you before, and it seems you've always had those attributes. You have moved around a little bit on the pitch as well.
Yeah, I'd say when I was at Middlesbrough, when I was 19, 20, I used to always play a centre midfield. I used to always be like a box-to-box midfield because obviously I think I've got good fitness and good attributes that can help me play midfield. And then I went on loan to Rochdale in League One, and I played an FA Cup game. And Keith Hill brought me on after 10 minutes centre midfield, and obviously I did well there. And obviously I just kept playing there, and they signed me permanently in January. And I sort of signed an 18-month deal, and then for them 2 years, well, 18 months, I sort of played every game in midfield. Like we used to play like a 3 in midfield, and I'd be the one like on the left-hand side, just sort of box to box all game, sort of trying to get in the ball, try and get on the ball, get goals, get crosses in, get assists, things like that. Really, and I really enjoyed it. But then, obviously, when I went back to Hartlepool, they played like a 5 at the back with like 2 sitters in midfield, which didn't really suit me. Like sitting. I was more of like box to box, or like I had license to get in the box, come back. So then obviously I went to wing back, and obviously I found that was very similar to a left-sided sort of midfielder. Obviously got my license to get in the box, back post, headers, things like defending, obviously, which I was still doing what I was at Rochdale. So obviously, yeah, so I did that. Then I had 2 years at Hartlepool where I played left wing back, and I loved it, to be honest. I think I played my best football in my career at left wing back, because like you're saying, it gives me chance to get 1v1 and take people on, come inside, come in right foot, take it down the line, shoot, and obviously it gives me chance to get back and help the defenders and things like that. So yeah, I'm loving it, to be honest.
Matty, you were speaking a couple of weeks ago about how players, their positions are different if you're in midfield or if you're in defence, and how it affects your game and how you can help out the players around you. I guess if you're in either of those positions, in centre midfield or centre half, a player like Mark is a blessing to have around you, because he's going to go forward. He's going to be an outlet if you've got the ball and you need to get rid of it. He's going to be the cover if you need to go and you pulled out position or whatever. If you're maybe further forward, he can not only get on the end of a cross, he can put one in as well. He's kind of the player that everybody else needs. Yeah,
I think the beauty of it is the fact that he's played so many games in the centre of the park. You've got a footballer's mindset, so you're not just a ferocious tackler or a hard tackler or a ball winner. You've got a footballer's mindset, and sort of take that into the left back position. I don't think there is such thing as a left back anymore. I think a left back is fully expected to be like an extra winger. Really, you need to be able to do both. These days left backs give as much going forward as they do. You're a defender first, but you're expected to take teams the other way. And if you add to the mix sort of a centre midfielder's brain, you've got a dangerous player there. I was the same. I played on the left side of sort of a 2 or a 3 in the centre of the park. I could also fill in at left back. I think it's quite tough to do the other way around. If you've got a standard left back to then introduce into the middle of the park. it's a ferocious pace in the middle of the park, and games are won and lost. But a midfielder, if you can handle the middle of the park, I think you can pretty much play anywhere.
When you set yourself targets at the start of the season, Mark, did you think, firstly, I want to keep this many clean sheets, or did you first think, I want to get this many goals and assists?
Well, I don't really set myself targets in that type of scenario. Obviously, when I signed here, obviously the main thing, the number one thing was like to win the league. Obviously, that was my main. Obviously, I've said it all along. Like the main thing I want to do this season is get County into League Two and get back in the league. Obviously, where I think they belong with the stadium and obviously with Carrington now, and obviously so that's the main goal for me. And obviously, if I can chip in with 5 or 6 goals, maybe 5 or 6 assists, whatever, then obviously that's just a bonus. But for me, the main thing is just to make sure that we get promoted this season, which would obviously be a really good accomplishment in my career.
Fair play. Well, listen, it is the Christmas time. I'm not going to say a Christmas special because we didn't really advertise it as a Christmas special. But just finally, I'm going to put you both on the spot now. You've drawn Jim Gannon in the Secret Santa. You've got a tenner to go out and spend on him.
Oh.
What are you going for?
Go on, Mark.
I'm going to need some time here, I think. I don't know. I'm struggling a bit. You put me on the spot here.
Yeah, I've put you on the spot. I didn't even mean to.
I'll tell you what I'd go for.
Go on.
So I'd probably put a bit of money to it because I don't think you get it for a tenner. I'd go straight into a bookshop, Waterstones, and I'd buy him The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And I think that's right up his street. It's like a general's tactical sort of chessy type book. You might have heard of it. I think it's so far up his street. It's unreal. Either that or a cup of coffee would be great. He always had a coffee at half time when he was telling us off. So
yeah, maybe a coffee machine or something like that. He enjoys his coffee.
Right, you've both stayed very safe, I'm sure. But yeah, no, good shouts. I'm not asking because I've drawn him and I've got to go and find something. So no worries there. Listen, Mark, it's a busy schedule coming up. Squad's looking good. You're happy, and hopefully it's more positivity on the way for County. Yeah,
100%. I think we have to just put the Knox County game behind us now. Obviously, you can't expect to win every game. Do you know what I mean? So obviously that's just a slip in the road. Obviously, we've had some really good results in the FA Cup, and obviously to beat Bromley and Barnet away, which is obviously 2 really tough National League games, and win the 3rd round of the FA Cup against West Ham Premier League team live on telly. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of positivity like around the club. Everyone's sort of happy. Obviously, we've got the FA Cup game coming to look forward to. So I think one defeat against obviously Knox County away, obviously you can't let that sort of stop you in your track. It's sort of just one of them where you speak about it, analyse it, and then you sort of rub it under the carpet and then just go ahead for the next games and obviously just try and go on a little run again where we can hopefully get 4 or 5 wins on the bounce.
We nearly got through the whole show without mentioning it, but since you bring it up, how buzzing were you when West Ham came out the draw?
Oh yeah, obviously I was actually on FaceTime to Jamie Stott, and we were watching it together because we watched the round before that to draw together on FaceTime, and obviously we were hoping for obviously a team in our league or maybe a league below. So obviously the dream is to get into the 3rd round of the FA Cup, and obviously we got the Oval, which we were happy about at home to obviously a National League club. Obviously you can't go wrong there. So obviously we watched the next round together, obviously for good luck's sake, and it came up Stockport, and I was just hoping for a Premier League team, obviously a big one, say like Man United, obviously Chelsea, Liverpool or something. But I think outside of the top 6 teams, I think West Ham will be up there. Do you know what I mean? It's a pick. So obviously it's a club with massive tradition and things like that. So no, we're all really excited for that, and obviously hopefully we can put on a good show.
Well, we're buzzing for it. One way or the other. Listen, we said it last week. We don't need to go back over it. But Matt, we can take a win. We're pretty confident for that game.
Say that again, mate.
We're pretty confident for that game, for the West Ham game.
For the West Ham game, yeah, absolutely nothing to lose. We're going there as the underdogs, quite big underdogs, but we are in form. Apart from the little tickle the other night, but West Ham are in form. It's going to be a great game, and I think there might be a little element of complacency that we could exploit. nothing whatsoever to lose. Great occasion for you guys, Mark.
Yeah.
Wonderful opportunity for you to show what you can do, really, live on television.
Happy days. Well, Mark, we'll let you crack on. Next time we see you, jump here.
Yeah, next time I'll get the jump on, mate. Don't worry.
So, man, we'll let you crack on. Thank you, mate.
All right, mate. Thanks a lot. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers,
Mark.